first carry for Thomas Rawls. And he'll get this up to about the 40. Well, partner, earlier you were talking about Russell Wilson and what he's done this year as the focal point without a solid running game. Thomas Rawls, 349 yards on the ground. Christian Michael is the team's leading rusher. He's not even with the crew anymore.
And that just tells you the evolution of Seattle's offense, because they've always been a tailback-centric team. Okay, you remember how they went to the Super Bowl, who carried the football, big-time yardage, big-time production, and Russell Wilson played off of that. Without that this year, he became the focal point, and they became a pass-first team.
They go again with Rawls, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Time running out here on the play clock. First down, this is Rawls. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Second down and a little ways to go here. 2nd and 13. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Complete. Richardson has it. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The starters for the Seahawks of Seattle on the offensive side. Charles, they could use a big game from Thomas Rawls.
And they really loved what they got out of him last year, because an undrafted player is not supposed to give you nearly 6 yards a carry in production, and that's exactly what he did. They need a big game out of him, and they expect it.
Play clock winding down. Play action. Now Wilson. He's got time. He's got Curse. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
The starting defense for the Falcons.
Jonathan Babineau's a defensive tackle, knows how to get upfield and spill plays in the backfield.
2nd down now after the pass completion. Off the play fake to Rawls. Wilson. And he whips that one incomplete there. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 5.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle, because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
On is Hauschka now for the Seahawk field goal. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And Hauschka's kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. So, of course, they wanted to find the end zone, but when you go on the road and your first drive results in points, I think you're pretty happy.
You have to be, because you've taken it to the home team in this case. And while you may not have shut up the home crowd, you've quieted them down a little bit. Good way to start.
Now after the made field goal, Hauschka back out onto the field to kick it away. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman.
Every time I think about Devontae Freeman and I see him play, I always just focus on how hard he played. Doesn't matter whether he's carrying the ball, doesn't matter whether he's blocking, catching it, it does not matter. Devontae Freeman plays with aggression and plays with enthusiasm.
And to go over 1,000 yards while having a guy in the backfield that you're sharing carries with, that's impressive.
Yeah, you're talking about Tevin Coleman, and both of them can shred defenses. Coleman may be a little bit better at going the distance with a carry, but Devontae Freeman, he knows how to break people down.
Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And it's 3rd and 4. And a man, as we look at the starters now, a man who really has earned us talking about him in the booth, Julio Jones.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver each and every year. So sleek, so wonderful. I call him Secretariat.
3rd down and 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. Finding Gabriel, complete. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
When Bobby Wagner's career is said and done, people are going to look back and say he was an absolute steal in the NFL draft. A Pro Bowl player for any team.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now it's Ryan. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
On first down, Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I still remember the first time I saw Julio Jones play in college, and then I got it confirmed at the NFL Combine. He is like an unbelievable thoroughbred coming out of the gates. I mean, his ability to accelerate and take it the distance and play with such physicality downfield, one of the best receivers in the league. 2nd in yardage this year, despite missing 2 games with a toe injury.
That's right. 2nd to T.Y. Hilton. Finished with 1,409, did Julio Jones. Here's Ryan, letting one go deep for the end zone. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
You can feel the anguish all the way up here. It certainly looked like he had that one in the end zone, open, unable to hold on to it.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know, the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
Here's Ryan to throw. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Shift together here from the D-line. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. This is caught. It's Sanu this time for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Falcons have taken the lead. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive in with a kick other than the extra point. That's it. Well, that pass was inaccurate, so that leads me to bring up our Super Bowl predictions and find out just how accurate they were.
Yours were okay.
Well, it was pretty easy for me. I went out there with some established teams. I went with Green Bay and New England, so I'm still alive in the playoffs. You had Carolina and Pittsburgh?
I did. Now, Pittsburgh obviously has a chance. Carolina does not have a chance.
Well, listen, you're my partner. Let's just be honest about the whole thing. Did anyone see Carolina having this type of a season?
No, I thought you were going to say you're my partner, and that's why you do play-by-play.
No,
and then at the analysis, I was going to say you're exactly right.
No, we split this bad boy 50-50, my man. No, Carolina, that was really a surprise to have the season that they did.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively, not a real surprise. They're in the dime. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. From the shotgun, Ryan. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come out 5 wide. 3 of them to the right side. On second down, Ryan. That's caught at the 3. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. They've got it down to the 3, but now this is 3rd and goal. On 3rd and goal, Ryan. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Tyler Lockett, the 40, 20, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 104 yards. And the Seahawks able to make this a close game again.
And, partner, that's exactly how you become a Pro Bowl return man. Doesn't matter whether it's a kickoff, a punt return. Tyler Lockett can take it to the house. What was it? He and Dwayne Harris of the Giants in 2016?
Yeah,
the only two, right?
That return both a kickoff and a punt return, and we see more of his electricity there. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball.
It got his man complete. They give him a gain of 38. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. And finding the tight end, Hooper. A gain of 6 there on first.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
Get up!
Now Ryan on second down. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Throwing again, Ryan. He's going to air one out. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
They go back to the air here. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Grady Jarrett able to use that strength and get him for a loss of 2. They'll come out in the pistol. On second down, Rawls. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. They'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary now on third. And they're going to go soft on the corners. On third down, close ice. And he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that.
And while that play was unsuccessful to start the second half, I'm not sure that you just totally abandon what you do running the football. Maybe you make some adjustments in your run game and do things a little bit differently, but that doesn't necessarily mean you just go to the pass and do nothing else.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. After the interception, here's Wilson. Drops it underneath for Rawls. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a second down. And quickly, they get to the line. On second down, here's Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on second down. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face a third down.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And you would have to think an obvious passing situation here on 3rd and 9. On 3rd down, Ryan. Finding Gabriel complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. So now it's 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. Now it's Ryan. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Wilson. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Back now in Atlanta. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Ryan on 2nd down. And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I really don't think that Julio Jones could be happier right now. Plenty of catch opportunities in this game. He's converted them, and his team's winning.
And Matt Ryan's happy, too, to have Julio Jones on the other side of these.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we talk about breaking teams down, and oftentimes just through a running game. These two, they can break a team down through the air.
He showed off a nice juke of the defender, but the next wave there to bring him down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Throwing again, Ryan. Flush to his right. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he strung it out as far as he could, and I like the fact that he kept his eyes downfield, but he finally ran out of time and room. But I'll take that over forcing it downfield and possibly having it intercepted.
To throw is Ryan. Escaping the pressure right. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there. And it's 4th down.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Following the penalty, it's Rawls. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Here's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Time starting to run out here in the fourth. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. Now Wilson, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away, and that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
They'll lock him with the grab over the middle. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an error in the game.
Oh, no, he lost the football. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. In the slot on the right is Graham. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it's third down. And the defense lines up looking for one final stop.
And they will be playing for the pass in this situation, not expecting any type of a run.
He'll look to throw. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on fourth down. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on fourth down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. He's back to throw. Surveying the field. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And he'll get it up the middle. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Watch left. Start right there.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Here's Ryan. Going up top. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, they decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice, able to get a hand in and tip it away.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now it's Lockett. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation. Lakin.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They have the lead. Still a one-possession game, but the defense got the stop. They've got the football now. Just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. 2nd down, offense behind the sticks here. 2nd and 13. Shift together here from the D-line. They come out 5 wide. 3 of them to the right side. Ryan wants to throw it. And this is caught at the 8. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. So there on that play, offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
They come out here in the eye. Ryan keeps it on the sneak. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. 2nd and goal to go now. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman taking it in. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. One more extra point attempt for good measure. It's up and it's good as they tack on one more to what's going to be a very satisfying victory. So we had action to the very